Hey everybody, I would just like to welcome you to our Coach Opportunity Call. My name is Kim Danger and I am the leader of the Beach Ready Now team. I started Beachbody coaching in 2014. Now our team is a premier team, which is really cool. We've got over 200 coaches on our team, which again is really cool. And what I love about our team culture is we're really into personal development. We support each other. And one thing that I think is really cool is so many of us are a little bit older than the average. I'm 45. And I know that we do have a lot of coaches like in their 40s and 50s. Not all of them. We have plenty of coaches in their 20s and 30s as well. But that's just something cool and unique about our team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing my screen. Got a few slides to show you guys. Let's see here. Okay. You guys see where it says intro to the coach opportunity? Go like this if you can see it. Okay, cool. So with that, I am going to scroll down and get started here. My computer will let me. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about how I got started with the coach opportunity. Like I said, I started about 2 years ago. I had no fitness experience. This was something that I thought, well, I can't be a coach. I'm not a trainer. I really didn't even start working out until I was over 40. You know, I was kind of one of those people that would, maybe run a little bit. I would maybe take a class here and there, but then I'd fall off the bandwagon for a few months and you wouldn't see from me again. So once I turned 40, I really started getting serious about health and fitness. My dad had a heart attack at age 42. So my motivation was just not to repeat that family history. I was really driven by that. And also, I'll admit to you guys, I was vain. I've seen so many of my friends in their 40s just kind of give up and not really care about how they looked anymore. And, I kind of made a conscious decision that I was going to eating as much as I could. And, I just knew it was good for my health. I would feel better, all those great things. So now, I know it's 2016 right now, but in 2015, our team made Premier qualification, which about 400 of the teams in the Beachbody network out of 200,000 have that honor. So I consider it a great honor that we've built this cool little team called Beach Ready Now. We're growing very rapidly. I'm one of the top 10 coaches in Minnesota, so I feel like it's a very underserved market. But the thing is, my coaches come from all over the United States, and I have found so many people on social media, or I should say they have found me. I've really put myself out there and people come to me to join my challenge groups, to join my team. So that is one thing that I really focus on with our team culture is learning about social media and really building your team culture and attracting the people that you want to work with. So as I mentioned, when I started out, I had no fitness experience at all. But over the course of the last 2 years, I have become certified. So Beachbody does really allow you to do those things. It's a day course that you take. There's not like a hard test at the end of it. So, some people use those certifications and they teach fit clubs. They might do casual drop-in, fitness groups at their church or their school or whatever. And I can tell you more about that later if that's something that you're interested in. I had not really pursued that a whole lot, even though I'm certified. I guess I just wanted to have more background knowledge in the exercise fundamentals so that I could teach my challengers, the right moves and why we do things. And for me, it was a great value just to learn those certain things. Okay, let me scroll down a little bit. So just a little bit of background on Beachbody. The company itself started in 1998. Carl Deichler and John Congdon were the two creators of Beachbody. They started out as a direct marketing company. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the infomercials. They're still on the air, but they started out with programs like Tony Horton's Power 90, I'm looking at some of these, the great abs, the thin thighs. These are like, over 10 years old. Actually, there's 1999. That's almost 17 years ago. So they gradually evolved. They started adding more fitness programs to their lineup. P90X was huge, you guys, in Insanity, which is not on this list. Chances are you've all heard about those programs. But what they found was people would buy the programs from the infomercial, and then they would get them home and they would collect dust on their shelves because they didn't have that extra layer of accountability to get people the success that they wanted. So in 2007, that's when they really decided, okay, we're going to do something about this. We're putting out great programs, but they're not going to work if people don't use them. So that's when Team Beachbody was launched. And that was when they decided, they were kind of at a crossroads. They could either go full on retail and, push their products into Target and Walmart and all that type of thing, or they could create a wonderful opportunity to have that coach connection. And, I'm so glad they decided to do that because their coaches are really brand advocates. They are people that use the programs themselves, and they're just that support network. And so that's the missing link that they were really looking for. That was in 2007, 9 years ago. And today, the coach network is, I believe, over 400,000 strong. So it has really, really, really taken off. When I started, I think it was about half of that. So in the last 2 years, they've seen tremendous growth. I got to make this a little bit smaller here. I think my slides are a little bit too big. Let me see. I'll zoom out a little bit. That's a little bit better. I think I've kind of mentioned that already. Their mission was to help people achieve their goals and enjoy healthy, fulfilling lives, whether that be through fitness, clean eating, or what is really important to me and my team is personal development. That's something that we really focus on in our challenge groups. I'm a firm believer that if you don't have a strong mind, your body will not be able to do what you want it to do. Your mind really is the starting point. So we work on that. It's not like I'm going to give you homework in a challenge group. And most of you guys have been in one of my challenge groups before, one of our team's challenge groups. So, I just usually ask people to pick a book about, some sort of topic that helps them improve their lives. I also really wanted to reinforce the fact that we are not cookie cutters. This was a huge, huge misconception that I had when I first started, because I guess I had looked around and seen so many coaches that were either like bikini competitors, they were like 20 something. And here I was, when I started, I was 43. I was driving a minivan, a bikini wasn't something that, I wasn't strutting on the beach where, flexing my muscles by any means. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that just wasn't the type of coach that I identified with. And it wasn't until later that I went to some of these events that I began looking around and seeing people just like me. There are so many different types of coaches out there, you guys. People of all different ages, all different points in their fitness journeys, that no matter who you are and what you think you cannot do in coaching, you are wrong, because I've seen so many people succeed no matter what their starting point is. Okay, and the main role of coaches, what we do is we connect people with solutions to the issues and the challenges that they're going through in their journeys, whether it's a clean eating solution or a fitness program that we know they would love and they would not dread working out with, or the personal development, like I mentioned. But the thing is, you don't have to go into this knowing everything about the programs. When I enrolled as a coach, I had never even done a Beachbody program before. Never, ever. Like the first one I started with, I actually bought the Chalene Extreme challenge pack when I enrolled, and I ended up not using it because everyone was talking about 21 Day Fix. So that one sat on the table for a while. I bought 21 Day Fix, and that is the first program that I completed from start to finish. And that's really what made me fall in love with the Beachbody programs. You guys probably, I'm guessing that most of you already know and love 21 Day Fix. But since then, I've done, I would say, almost every other program there is out there. I also really, really love P90X. That's why I got certified in that. love Tony Horton. PiYo, I also really, really love. I love it because it's low impact, and so many of my challengers have knee issues, joint issues, so they can't do the heavy plyometric exercises. But the thing is, I guess my point with that is you don't have to know everything about all the programs. We are a team. So if you have a question that comes from a challenger about which program I should do, all you have to do is reach out and ask one of us, because so many of us have done all of the programs, or so many of them. And I have not done any of Shanti's programs. Sorry, Shanti. But I know so many of my friends have. So if I have questions about that, I can go ask. Jessica is my Shanti girl, and I know she loves T25. And I've done some of the workouts, but I haven't done it from start to finish. But yeah, our main role is connecting people with solutions. It's not selling them products. I mean, like, to be in a challenge group, there usually is a product requirement, but that's not what it's all about. It's about providing the support after the product purchase, which is so different from any of the other multi-level marketing companies out there. Like, say you go to a Pampered Chef party, or a Sensi party, or Mary Kay, or any of those things. Their point is to sell you a product, and then once you buy it, you probably don't hear from that person again, or if you do, it's pretty rare. So with us, we really start our work after the product is sold. That's where the support comes in, and that's what I thought was so amazing about Beachbody, and why I think it's one of the best companies out there. And you're going to be doing fitness anyway, you might as well get paid for doing it and talking about it. And that's really what we do. We share our fitness journeys online, and we support other people that are doing the same thing. So for me, it doesn't feel like sales at all. I love to talk about it. Like, if you had a favorite product, a favorite restaurant, a favorite store, you would not hesitate to tell everybody about it, especially if you've had success with it. So that's kind of where I feel this is coming from, and how it is in my mind is a connection and not a sales thing. So team culture, I just wanted to touch on that briefly. And if you have been in a challenge group or two, you know all this. You know that, so many of us do become friends. We go from one challenge group to another. It's so cool. Like, that is one thing I was not expecting when I first enrolled as a coach. I was going to do it for the money. I'll be honest with you. That was a huge draw for me, because I did like health and fitness. It was something that I was passionate about. And the person that sponsored me said, hey, you're doing social media, you're doing the fitness thing, why don't you make some money at it? So I decided, I don't have anything to lose, I'm doing this anyway. That's what got me into it. But what gets me to stay are the people. I have had the pleasure of meeting the most fantastic people in my 45 years. I can honestly say that, like, these people feel like my online family. And I've been lucky enough to have earned trips. I went on a cruise. I've won leadership conference. That was in LA in January. That's what this one picture on the left is from. And then I get to see these people again at different events. And so in a way, we're becoming this tight-knit little family, and we talk to each other online almost daily. I have to give Donna a shout out. She's the before and after picture that I'm using here. And I love Donna. She is just like one of the cornerstones of our team, because she is in her 50s and she is rocking it. And I love using her as an example, because I thought I was too old to be a coach. And Donna's just a little bit older than I am. I got to pick on you a little bit, Donna. But, the thing is, there is no age limit. My mom is a coach, and she's 73. She's telling all her friends in the nursing home, she's there temporarily with a knee replacement, but she tells everybody about Shakeology because it helped her lose 30 pounds. So just had to share that story with you. It is truly a team culture of friendship and support. We become much more than just online acquaintances. We do become friends. Super Saturday, I'll just mention that briefly since it's in the photo. That's a quarterly event that Beachbody hosts all throughout the United States. Chances are there's one in your area. I go to the one in the Minneapolis area, but our team has been to the ones in Miami, I think Phoenix, I think Olga's been there, all over. And it's just a great way to connect with other coaches. Usually they'll have a celebrity trainer there, maybe just a motivational speaker, a coach that has had a lot of success, kind of give you some tips. Those are great events that you can get to quarterly. You don't even have to be a coach to attend. So this is probably the question you're all wondering. How do coaches earn money? And there's several ways that we make money. First off is retail commission. And that is, let's say I sell a pack of Shakeology to my next door neighbor. I would make a 25% commission on that. And that's great. I mean, like, that is kind of how I started my business, was just to do that selling of a challenge pack or Shakeology to get someone into a challenge group. But then you have the opportunity to earn even more as you bring people onto your team as a coach. So that's kind of what this is all about. We want to build our team. We want to help other people take advantage of these income opportunities. So team cycle bonuses. Once you have 2 coaches under you and you're an Emerald coach, that just means 2 coaches, and it doesn't have to be a working coach. I signed up my husband as a coach because he drinks Shakeology too, and my best friend. So those are my first 2 coaches. Other people will sign up their mom and their husband to get to that emerald point where they can start earning team cycle bonuses. It's not that hard to do. I encourage you to do that in your first month, because then you really do see a little jump start in your business right away. So with that, every time your team generates some income, you'll get a bonus. And without delving into it too deeply, because I don't want to confuse you guys, that's just another way that we earn money. And then as you rank advance, there are different levels of coaches that we have in Beachbody. Like I mentioned, the first rank advancement is called Emerald. Then we go Ruby and Diamond. And then there's different levels of diamonds. I'm currently a 5-star qualifying diamond, which means I have 5 diamond coaches underneath me. And once you hit that diamond level, then you start earning quarterly bonuses, which is really, really, really great. I can post the information on the quarterly bonuses for you guys, but once you hit 2-star, I would say the average quarterly bonus is like $1,000. At 5-star, it goes up to like 3 or 4. At 10-star, we're talking like 10. And I think I read somewhere that the 15-star bonus was well over 30,000 last quarter. And that's quarterly, you guys. That's 4 times a year. So the income can really, really add up. And when you're 15-star, keep in mind, you're still getting that 10-star, that 5-star, and that 2-star bonus on top of the big one. So of course, that's what we're all striving for. If you're going into it to be a 6-figure earner, which I am, but I also want to really, really drive the point home that so many people sign up simply for the Shakeology discount. Their goal is they don't care if they sell a challenge pack. They don't care if they ever get another coach on their team, and that's perfectly fine too. A lot of people simply enjoy the culture. They like the advantages of being coached, being included in our team Facebook group, doing some of the cool things that we do with our trainings, and those are all available to our active coaches that we have on our team. So a few other benefits: you also as a coach get a 25% discount on your shakes and your programs and things like that. We also have a program called Success Club, which your goal, if you're a working coach, should be to help 3 people every month into a challenge group. If you do that, you will earn a Success Club prize. And, like a lot of them are a little cheesy, like sometimes we'll get mugs and aprons and things like that. But last fall we got the full P90X, P90X2, and I'm trying to think. I don't think it was 3 P90X programs. The prize was worth over $500, or no, excuse me, $300. So they really vary, but they're always, always fun to get, no matter how big or small they are. Like I mentioned, trips. We recently came back from a cruise to the Caribbean. Next year we're going to Punta Cana. I'm hopefully going to be qualifying for a leadership trip on Coronado Island this year. I have a few coaches on my team I hope go for Premier, because then they'll earn the leadership trip to LA. So all sorts of cool things, you know, and then of course all the things that go along with having a home business, tax deductions, write-offs, that type of thing. I can help you with that too. And I do need to say that Beachbody does not guarantee any level of financial success. We're required to say that. Okay, so challenge groups. Okay, and while I'm talking, I know we were going to give some prizes out. I want to see how many of you guys can ask questions, because if you ask me a question, I'm going to give you a prize. If you're not a coach. So 1, 2, 3. If you guys can mute yourselves, that'd be great. I think I've got 4 or 5 here. So if you're not a coach yet and you type in a question, I want to hear what it is. So anyway, and I'll look at those when I'm done talking. I'm hoping to wrap up soon, because I don't like listening myself talk. I want to hear you guys ask some questions. So challenge groups are the basis of what we do. Once we get someone into a program, we've matched them with a program that we think will work with them. We get them into a challenge group. It could either be on an app. We have a new challenge tracker app that we have been able to use, but most of my groups have been on Facebook. We do private groups. The only people that can see your posts are the other members in the group. We provide a daily accountability check-in assignments. We talk about clean eating. We share recipes, menu plans, that type of thing. And that's really where the magic happens. That's where we develop these great relationships. That's where we can help people with their struggles. And that's where we really form bonds. And so many of the coaches on my team are former challengers, because it's just such a great thing that they want to continue on with. They do it for their own accountability. And you know, that's why a lot of coaches are just discount coaches. And I shouldn't say just discount coaches, but you don't have to have lofty goals to make this work for you. Of course, if you do, that's great, and we're here to support you. We have training groups all the time. Just ask my coaches if you want to learn something. There is always a group available to you. In fact, sometimes I feel like I'm on group overload, because there is so much, but never ever feel like you won't get support, because it is always there for the taking. You have to show a little initiative and ask for it and put in the work, but we are such a supportive community, you'll never be left alone. So I kind of touched on this briefly a little bit. What type of coach are you? We talked a little bit about the discount coach, preferred customer. That would be someone that I would describe as just signing up for the discount. The hobby coach might be someone that, I'm going to enroll my mom. I'm going to, get my neighbor signed up, but I'm just kind of using it to cover the cost of my own programs and Shakeology. And that's great. If you hit Success Club every month, you will definitely get the cost of your Shakeology covered. And a working coach, which is what I am, and some of my diamond coaches I would consider as working coaches, they are earning a living doing this. And what you put into it really is what you get out of it. But I will say I've been doing it 2 years. I make a full-time income now. And, so many people that I hear about, they kind of test the waters for a little bit. They start out maybe as a discount coach, move into that hobby coach, and then they really see that there's so much income potential here, more so than their other jobs. And for a lot of people, I see that usually happens between like year 1 and year 2. They say, okay, this I'm going to give it a shot and I'm going to see. And so many of them end up quitting their full-time jobs because they see they can make more money with Beachbody. So I just want to dispel some common myths. And a lot of these I've talked about already. But one thing I have not mentioned, it is not a pyramid scheme, which are illegal, by the way. It is multi-level marketing, but everything is completely legal. Beachbody gets great marks with the Better Business Bureau. Google, if you have any issues with them, they're a great company. I've met the CEOs. I just get such a great feeling from this company. I have no misgivings about recommending it. The fact that we connect, we're not salespeople. We ask a lot of questions. We try to match people with the right program. In fact, if you say you don't like selling, I'm like, good. I just want you to get to know people, have as many conversations as you can with them, and truly help them. Because if they don't trust you, they're not going to buy anything from you anyway. So it's all about building trust and connections and that type of thing. You don't have to be at your goal weight. You don't have to be a certain age. You don't have to have a certain look. None of that. You don't have to be qualified. You just have to be interested in fitness and be willing to help people. And it does not require a lot of time if you don't want it to. You can simply sign up for the discount, ease into the whole coaching thing, or you can be like me. Like, I probably work 30 to 40 hours, some weeks even more, because I'm really trying to build my business. I see that these moments and these hours that I'm putting in now will compound over time. And that's the beauty of this. The sky is really the limit with the income potential with this. Like, if you go to a 9-to-5 job where you're getting paid by an employer, you know, you're going to get a cap on your salary. Maybe you'll get like a 2 to 3% raise every year. Not with Beachbody. We have incomes well over $1 million. I think our top earner earned like between $3 and $4 million last year. I mean, it's just crazy insane how much you can make with this if you really commit to it and don't give up right away, because it really does take time to see results. So with that, I'm going to dare you guys, if any of this resonated with you, just don't sit on this information. Go for it. If you're like me, you just realize you have nothing to lose. If you say you do sign up, there's no time requirement. You can quit the next day if you want to. There's really no obligation, but you have everything to gain with this. In my opinion, you have nothing to lose by giving it a shot. And, you know, so many people are letting their own fears hold them back. I just want you to ask yourself, you know, if this is something that you're interested in, don't let those negative voices inside your head talk you out of it, because they will. They'll say, they told me, you're not young enough, you're not experienced enough, you don't know anything about fitness, nobody's going to listen to you. But you know what? I'm sitting here 2 years later, so thankful that I pushed through those negative thoughts, because I found something that does not feel like work, that I could be happy doing for the rest of my life, and I make a good living doing it. So for me, it's a complete win-win. So with that, I'm going to stop my screen share. And I also want to open the dialogue up to a couple of our other coaches, just so you don't have to only hear from me. And while I do that, I'm going to check the chat to see if anyone asks questions. But let's see here. Denise, is it all right if I call on you for a few minutes and you could just share your story and, you know, like how you got into coaching and what it's done for you? Would that be okay? Okay, I'm going to unmute you.
Okay. Yeah, so I started with Beachbody 2 years ago just because I wanted to look good. And when I found, I was turning 50, I wanted to look good, so I purchased a product. It wasn't until last year that I got 21 Day Fix, and that was a game changer for me with 21 Day Fix and Shakeology. Shakeology resolved all my diseases, and so I needed to afford it, so I became a preferred customer discount coach just for the discount. And as I dabbled in it a little bit, I kind of found that I was really interested in more than just sitting on the sidelines. You know, I started with the personal development, and I just felt like I had something to give to other people, and I wanted to help people. You know, I'd been a nurse, and I had to give up my nursing career for medical reasons, and I love what I'm doing. I love to get up early in the morning and connect with people, and it's just very rewarding. And I think the team, that our camaraderie is amazing. Like, it's not to each his own. Everybody helps everybody. You're never kind of left out there on your own. And kind of like you, Kim, I thought, you know, I'm too old. I'm 50 years old. I have no background in fitness. I don't even like to work out. But it's changed for me. I feel great, and I'm glad that I took the leap of faith. You know, I've been searching for a part-time job, and it was right in front of me. So awesome. I would encourage anybody to give it a shot.
Great. Well, thanks, Denise. And you do look amazing. When you told me you were 50, I'm like, no way. You look way younger than that, I think.
If nothing else, I feel like I spent $140 on a challenge pack, and my diseases went into remission. So
yeah,
it was well worth it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So happy for you. Okay, Donna, do you mind if I pick on you for a minute? Oh, gotta unmute you first. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Because your story is
Yeah.
so great, Donna. I just think you're inspiring.
My story?
Yeah.
Well, mine's a menopause story. So I was
Okay.
at my highest weight. I was 170 pounds. And I was sitting in a parking lot in tears. And someone told me about the 21-day fix. And I just went ahead and bought it on the spur of the moment. So that is how I began.
Yeah. Well, and your story
Very-
has inspired so many, not just because you're over 50, but your before and after pictures are amazing. And you signed up as a coach before you were really like at your goal weight too, if I remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Way before. And I did it for the discount. Yeah.
right. So you could attest to the fact that you don't have to be at your goal weight to sign up as a
No.
coach. Many people are not. So
No, and I did it for the discount. And then the coaching just kind of happened. You know, people saw my success and wanted to know how I did it. And so it just kind of snowballed. So it's been a wonderful one. I never imagined that the experience would be what it is. It's been wonderful.
right.
Yeah. It's big confidence builder, even at, age 57. So, it's been it's been great.
You're great.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
It has been fun. And what's cool is I feel like I know Donna personally because we do these Zoom calls once in a while, but I've never met her in person.
I
And
know.
we finally get to meet at Summit, our big
Mhm.
company-wide shindig. I don't know what to call it. It's huge. There's going to be like 20,000 coaches there. So I'll finally get to meet her. I have been able to meet Denise, which is so cool. I saw her in LA when I was there for the leadership conference. So that was really, really such a fun thing. I love how coaching brings people together. And that kind of goes along with one of the questions that came up on the chat. Okay. And I think it was Caitlin that asked this. And what's funny, one of the coaches on our team actually came to Mankato, where I live, yesterday. And we were talking about the same thing because she lives in a really small rural community. And there's already a Beachbody coach there. She's like, everyone else is working with this other lady, which is fine because we teach you social media. And that's how I've attracted so many of my clients and the coaches on my team is by putting myself out there on Facebook, on Pinterest. I also have a blog. So those are all things I can teach you and mentor you how to start. We usually just start with Facebook because that's where so many of our friends are already. You don't have to make it really complicated, just set up, start posting on your own Facebook profile. Like, I think that's what Donna did a lot. And, people would just start congratulating her on her health and fitness and they'd be like, what are you doing? So just by putting yourself out there, I'm sure not all of your Facebook friends are in the same community that you are, just start branching out. I guess we can teach you how to build your social network. That's one of the things that we focus on in our training, but you do not have to focus on your immediate area. In fact, I didn't want to do that. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Deanna's new to the Beachbody team. She's feeling overwhelmed, and that is such a common thing, but the best way to narrow everything down is to go back to our vital behaviors. Beachbody really, really kind of promotes these three things. The first one is be proof that the products work. Doesn't mean that you've got an amazing fitness story already. You just have to be willing to share your journey. And it has to be on social media, that's how, or in real life, but you have to tell people about it. Otherwise, they won't even know it exists. So the next thing is to work on your personal development, which we've talked about. That will bring you the mental strength that you need to stick to not only your fitness journey, but to stick to the coaching opportunity when it gets tough, because it has peaks and valleys like everything else. And if you quit when it gets tough, you will never see the fruits of your labor pay off. So there's a lot of delay of gratification, both with a coaching opportunity and with your fitness journey. You have to be willing to stick with it when it's not easy, because it's the people that don't see results. So we know that because we work on personal development. And the last one is to invite people. And I don't really like the word invite because it sounds like, hey, would you like to come to my challenge group? And I don't really word it that way. I like to call it, let's just start conversations. And it means connecting with people. And it means truly caring about people and being interested in what their challenges are and how you can help them. So that's how I would describe inviting. I want to make sure I get everyone's questions answered. Billy was wondering about inviting, and that's something that we get into with our training groups. This call is more for people that haven't decided to become a coach yet. So we can cover that more in our training, Billy. The difference between a coach challenger and a challenger, there really is no difference. You can join a challenge group as a coach without having to post every day like some of us do. But if you do become a leader and you have challengers within the group, that's when we ask you to kind of, pitch in and help run some of those groups there. Denise is in Southern California. Yeah. Okay. Ashley, small town. Yes. Okay. Small towns. I feel like if there's one coach there, everybody knows about that. And, I'm from a medium. There are also a lot of coaches here. It doesn't really mean anything, you guys. I would not let that get in your way. You are going to be your own brand. People will want to work with you because they like you. Just because there's another coach there does not mean that they have the market cornered either. You never want to steal challengers away from a coach. I would never advise you doing that in a million years. But I will say, I've had people come to me saying, you know what, I just really don't click with my current coach. You're 40 something like I am. She's 25. She doesn't get me. And what I would say is, if you're comfortable with switching, that is fine. If you're okay with that. And that's something that we do. We want people to find the best mentor and the best fit for them. So just because there are other coaches, that doesn't mean that everyone else is going to want to work with them. Kind of like a personal trainer. You know what? People change. They find someone that they relate to better. There's nothing wrong with that. I've had people leave me because they can relate to someone else better. And that's fine. You know what? You just have to be okay with that. Ultimately, you have their best wishes at heart. You just want to find them the success and the person that they connect with. So, okay. Yeah, I think that wraps it up, you guys. I want to give some prizes away, and I think what I'm going to do is everyone that asked a question, or at least the first 4 or 5, I'm going to post in our group because I've got, let's see, Caitlin, Deanna, Billy, let's see, Ashley. I got to go back through here and see who were the first few people. But does anyone else have any questions before I wrap it up? I hope I answered everyone's questions tonight. I would just really encourage you, if it's on your heart, think about it. Ask questions in the event page that we have. That's what we're here for. We don't want you to sign up if it's not right for you, but hopefully we've dispelled some of the myths. We've put to rest some of the questions that you had in your mind, and hopefully you feel more confident in either saying yes or saying no at this point. Everyone good?
Hey, Kim.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Donna.
When I first started doing the coaching and was asked to do it, it was scary. I mean, thinking, I was like, oh no, I'm going to be a coach, and what does that mean? But, then you realize you're not any different. You're still doing the same things you were doing as a challenger. And, as you go along, you're just sharing more. So once I realized that, then it wasn't so scary anymore.
Well, and I think at the heart of the questions about being overwhelmed and what's the difference between a coach and a challenger, you really nailed it, Donna, because there really isn't that much difference. The difference is you're sharing your story a little bit more publicly, in my opinion. Challengers tend to keep their fitness posts or their sweaty selfies within the group. Coaches tend to make them a little bit more public because they know their friends are going to be seeing it. They're going to be asking questions and that type of thing. But when you find yourself getting overwhelmed, just go back to the activities of being a good challenger. And if you stay on track with that and just, that's kind of what it all boils down to. And sure, we can complicate matters by teaching you about social media and how to brand yourself and all that kind of stuff. But if you get overwhelmed, just take a step back, go back to the vital behaviors. And if you stick to that and then start adding things as you're comfortable, that will work for you.
And, you know, in our lives, some of us are working several jobs. Some people are just, you know, they're stay-at-home moms, but you can still do this, you know, and you can do as much as you want to do. So it's not, you don't have to do everything.
Right.
I think that's
100%.
important for everyone to realize too.
Well, and I think so many people that are coaches, they start out slowly. They kind of ebbs and flows, like life. You get busy and your coaching kind of takes a back burner, or you've got more months. Some months you have time to invest a little bit more. That's the beauty of it. Nobody is telling you you have to punch a clock. You have to put in X amount of hours a week. What you put into it, you get out of it. And I like that because I like to know that the time and effort that I'm investing now will pay off down the road. I truly believe that. It's already paid off quite a bit, but it really does. This job has a compounding effect. If you stick with it, it's a snowball. You start gaining more challengers, you get more coaches on your team, they start getting more and more and more, and it's kind of a really cool thing to witness, I think. But you are so right. Anyone can do this. Donna, you are so busy. I know you're probably just pulling your hair out right now because it's the end of the year for you, school year. But
not quite done yet. Almost.
Well, a few more days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but and I feel like sometimes the busy people get the most stuff done. They really do because they know how to manage their time more effectively. But yeah, anyone can do this, you guys. So with that, I think I'll wrap it up and I will post the winners in the group. If you guys, here's your call to action. If you decide you want to sign up, reach out to the coach that invited you to the call and they will get you set up. Next steps, we will get you added to our team Facebook group so that you'll feel supported right away. We've got training groups starting all the time. You'll get a new coach welcome email. And with that, all the magic starts. So thank you guys for joining our call. And if you have any questions, please let me know. So with that, thank you guys and have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.